It was a sketch of an Ouroboros. Castel de Gurp. It looks like a sketch of a figure from La Maledicció.
I guess Hobbes was mining it for clues.
I didn't really know what I was looking for, but I was sure there was a clue there somewhere. Castel de Galifa. Castel de Rubí. The city of Barcelona. I knew that one at least. Castel del Montgrí. Castel de Púbol. This is the human pyramid from the painting.
Castel. The Catalan word for castle. Do you think the two are linked?
Something was familiar about this part of the painting. Marquez was interested in this sketch as well. It scribbled all over it.
It must be important.
It was a human pyramid with Castel written by it. It's the tree from the painting, the one with all the people in it.
Very creepy.
Castel de Balaguer. Town of Lleida. The city of Tremp. The town of La Seu de Geo. Castel de Montardo. Castel de Tosas. Castel de Besora. Castel del Sants. I think Sants means saints.
That's what Marquez wrote on the photo.
So that would make a Castel del Sants a tower of saints.
Like in the painting. This must be the clue. I guess this pretty much ties up the investigation, George.
Yep. Should be enough to get Nave off my back.
In the end, it was all about money.
And greed. Medovsky wanted to sell the painting and claim the insurance.
And he didn't care how many people he killed along the way. So what now? Hand over everything to the police?
I guess so. With what we found out, Langham should have no trouble picking up Medovsky in Spain. I do wonder what that secret map points to.
You still think the evil Gnostics are behind it all?
I don't know. But I do have questions that haven't been answered.
Such as?
Well, what do those symbols on the painting mean? What was Marquez really up to? Why was the sign of the Tabula Veritatis hidden under layers of paint?
And why is the building on fire?
And what did you see fire? We need to get out of here. Hobbs's sandals lay on the floor. The skylight was leaking. Hobbs had been using the bucket to catch the water. The mechanism for the skylight was old and corroded. That wouldn't work. That was never going to happen. That what? Nope. That was never gonna. That what? Nope. It was a bucket used to catch drips. That wouldn't. Wasting good mints was not on my agenda. I dropped the mints into the cola and quickly tightened the cap again. An open skylight looked like our ticket out of here. That wouldn't work. Tying the sheet to the crowbar made a halfway decent grappling hook. This should help us get out of here. After you, Nico. Terrific. Out of the fire into the frying pan.
Wait, Josh! Isn't that...
Langham. Oh, thank God. Hey, Langham!
Langham! Help! We're up here!
Quick. Round here.
Why didn't he help us?
I don't know. Maybe because he started the fire. Because he wanted to kill us.
Why?
I have no idea.
You think he killed Hobbs?
Could be. Maybe Simeon too.
So who is he? And who does he really work for?
I don't know. But I do know one thing. This is not over.
Josh! Do you hear that?
London's finest. Now you be nice to the firemen.
So what now?
Now, we go to Spain in search of the Castel del Sans and the Tabula Veritatis. Nico and I had thought the adventure was over. Actually, we'd only just started. Nothing was what it seemed. On a trail of corruption and greed, we'd stumbled upon a murderous conspiracy. A conspiracy whose roots lay in mysteries older than the written word. We didn't really have any choice. Catalonia, the foothills of the Pyrenees. After a short flight and a long drive, Nico and I arrived at Castel del Sans. Back in London, we'd tracked down La Malediccia and had started to unravel its secrets. The painting was a coded map to the location of the Tabula Veritatis, an ancient artifact which Father Simeon had claimed could raise the devil, for which he and others had already been murdered. We had to find the tabula before the killers. We knew they would stop at nothing. Let's just hope we got here before the bad guys.
Seems quiet enough.
Looks like nobody's been here for years.
Must have been a beautiful place, once upon a time. You think the tabula is really going to be here?
Somewhere, if we can just decode the painting. Well, it looks deserted.
Deserted? I don't think so.
Did you see who it was?
No, the sun was in my eyes.
Looks like somebody's beating us to it.
But who? Medovsky?
Langham?
Whoever it is, we need to get in there.
All right. You make a diversion. I'll try and reach some cover. And be careful.
Are you kidding? You're the one who's going to get shot. Climbing over the wall would not have been a great idea. Parts of the wall had fallen down. I would need to raise the helmet higher to get the shooter's attention. A helmet on a pole? Always useful. I just hope this works. Are you ready?
Can't wait.
Go!
Oh no. I'd made it without getting shot, but I sure didn't feel lucky. Somehow I had to distract the shooter again, and this time I was on my own. With a ghost from the past giving me an evil stare. The tree was way too sturdy for me to shake any apples down. Uh-oh. Ouch! Ripe apples hung from the tree. Look what I got for you, little fella. Oh, heck. Ow! Hey, that's mine. The goat had eaten Hobbs' carefully crafted provenance. Now, I needed the cookie to feed Trevor. The old tree offered cover from the shooter. Good goat. No, 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 no! You, hey! The goat had... Oh... The apples were bruised. Hey, Mr. Goat. Look what I got for you. I was hoping the goat would be more friendly now. Now then, old fella. You don't mind if I move your tire, do ya? No, 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 no! Not a snowball's... That... No, that didn't... That... The idea was so devious, I was ashamed I'd even thought of it. The idea was so devious... Hey, Mr. Goat. Look what I got for you. Oh boy, you're gonna love this. I distracted the goat, but it wouldn't take him long to eat that apple. The goat now had a whole pile of apples to tuck into. I tossed him my last apple. Even while he was eating, the goat had his eye on me. I'd moved the tire further away from the car. I'd moved the tire... The shots were coming from inside the house. The crumbling fountain wouldn't provide me with any cover. I blinded the shooter. Time to make a dash for it.
Don't think I can't see you, senor. you so much as move an inch, I shall shoot you. Don't move.
I was just gonna get...
I said, don't move.
It was a wind chime made out of old cans.
Don't move.
I was just gonna...
I said...
If I reached for my pocket one more... If I reached for... If I reached... The shooter was just an... with a large gun. Senor, please! Whoever you are, hold your fire! I'm not armed!
Good. That makes it easier for me to shoot you.
My name is George Stobart. I'm a friend!
I have no friends.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. Please, put the gun down.
No. Leave now, or I shoot.
All we want is a quick look inside the Castell.
I don't believe you. You are here to kill Senor Marquez.
Senor Marquez? He's alive? Well, he'll vouch for us.
You don't fool me like that. Get out of here before I kill you.
Senor Marquez knows me, I swear.
And I know a lie when I hear one. Go now, or I shoot.
Wait! I have important information.
Vostè, venghi a mí.
Do you understand what I am saying?
Try saying it and let's see.
Ah, well, I'm George Stobart, and I come in peace. Do you mind putting that down? I've had a really bad day.
Guns don't agree with you?
No, and neither do goats. I've got bruises in places that, well, you know, places.
So leave.
We're here looking for something.
Well, go look for it somewhere else.
Please, put the gun down. I'm not armed.
And I'm still not hearing an explanation.
I can understand the old man being edgy, but you look like a woman who's seen the world.
Nice work. You managed to insult Ramon and me in one sentence.
We were helping a man called Marquez in Paris.
He is my father.
I could see where she inherited her temperament. Your father? Well, he's our friend.
Why should I believe you? Show me proof.
Look at this photo.
It's old. Do I care?
Look at this sketch.
I'm not interested in your old scribbles.
I have your father's medallion.
So you're a thief too, huh?
We tracked down his painting, La Maledictio. Look.
Where did you get this?
In London.
All right. You better come with me, but no funny business, okay?
You know, you sound just like my friend Nico. Nico!
What's going on, Ramon? Who's out there?
Some crazy American. Don't worry. Eva will deal with him.
Papa. These people want to talk to you.
Eva, I thought we agreed to shoot intruders on sight. You, how did you find me?
It wasn't easy, senor.
We thought you were dead.
You were wrong.
They've brought you something, Papa.
Can it be? At last, La Maledictio.
Well, Senor Marquez, looks like La Maledictio hangs in its right place again.
Indeed. I have waited all my life for this.
But something interesting?
The painting. It is different. The face in the middle.
The one with the symbol of the Tabula Veritatis on it?
How do you know about the tabula?
A priest told me. Said it was the devil's work.
Pah! Priests. Full of lies, every one of them.
Oh, really? Well, this priest said that the tabula was an instrument to raise the devil.
Fool. Who would want to raise the devil?
But you do want to find the tabula.
Yes, because it is a Gnostic treasure. It is special, and my duty is to keep it safe.
I was sure that Marquez still wasn't telling me the whole truth. And now?
I shall decipher the painting and find the tabula. Before she died, my mother said that once the painting hung here again, its meaning would become clear, and the route to the tabula would be revealed.
So, what's the answer? Where's the tabula?
I don't know. The room has changed.
Was there something different about the room back then?
No. Yes. I don't know. You must help me.
Well, how? I'm not a Gnostic.
Senor, you must, because soon the Russian will be here.
He knows about Castel del Sans?
I regret, senor, that in Paris I told his sidekick a little too much.
Ah, well, I guess we'd better figure this out. And fast.
I'll go and keep watch.
Shoot on sight, remember.
Well, Nico, what now?
You try and work out just why the painting has to be in this room. I'll go and see if Eva knows anything.
Whether he knew it or not, I was sure Marquez had the answers. It was a shield on which heraldic symbols had been painted. The scroll below the shield read Girona. The scroll beneath the shield read Puigcerdà.
So, until you came here, you knew nothing about the Castel?
Didn't know, wasn't interested. I better get back on guard in case anyone else shows up.
Your father needs our help, Eva.
My father needs rest, peace, and quiet. Not more of this Gnostic nonsense.
So, what did you find out?
Not a lot. Eva thinks her father's losing it. She doesn't have much time for Gnosticism. She's never been here before. In fact, Marquez never even talked about the place. As far as I can tell, she and her father never got on. She left home the moment she could.
I don't blame her. So why is she here now?
Marquez begged her, said he was in danger. I guess maybe I'll go inside and have a look around too.
Tell me if you find anything. I'm not having much luck so far. There was a piece of stone on the ground. It looked like a discarded statue. The fountain had stopped working long ago. There was no way I was going near that goat again. It was an old, weathered sundial. From the dial I could see that the main doors of the house faced north. Hello, Eva.
Signor Stobart.
Please, call me George.
I'd rather not. When are you and your girlfriend leaving?
Actually, she's not my girlfriend.
I don't know what your scam is, Signor. You may have fooled my father, but you don't fool me.
Well, I can sure see where you get your manners from. What do you know about La Malediccio?
My father has been obsessed by it all his life. He thinks it's full of secret messages. I think it's a crock of
Sure you do. Nico tells me you don't really know about Gnosticism.
Don't know, don't care. And I don't need saints and gods telling me how to live my life.
I can see why you and your father don't get along. So, you don't know anything about Gnostics?
They're a religious sect. They belong in the past. My father's obsessed with them, and that's all I know.
Tell me about yourself.
I left home as soon as I could, lived a bit, and now I own a bar in Marseille.
That explains why you know how to use a gun.
No, senor. I learned how to use a gun so I could get rid of vermin.
Eva was a real charmer. Tell me about Ramon.
Apparently he worked here when he was a boy. A loyal servant, even though the family left and never came back. More fool him.
Tell me about your father.
When my mother died, he brought me up.
As a Gnostic?
He tried to teach me that stuff, said I had a religious vocation. Turns out I didn't. On my 18th birthday, I left home and never went back.
Anything else about the painting you can tell me?
My father says it has a special connection with this house. From where I stand, this house is a place of murder and violence, which is why I want nothing to do with it.
Do you know anything about this statue?
I've seen a few of them lying around. I guess the fascists smashed them up in the war.
Senor, a word, please?
Of course.
Okay, so
Just not with me.
Ramon sure was a little light in the charm department. The carved figure resembled the young man in the painting. It also matched the pose of the figures in Simeon's picture. The carved figure was like the bearded man in the painting. It also reminded me of the figures from the illustration in Simeon's notes. The stone fireplace was old and dusty. It looked like it had lain undisturbed for decades. La Malediccio, back in its rightful place. But what were the clues? The painting held all the answers. The Tower of Saints had led us to the Castel. I wondered where the other clues would take us. It was a tower of tormented souls. They looked like the damned. The bearded figure was similar to the one on the fireplace in the hall. I wondered if there was a connection. The orb in the old man's hand glowed with a green light. There was a tower within the ring. Maybe it indicated a place? The priest appeared to have a padlock through his mouth. He was pointing down to the ring below him. A scarred face stared back at me from within the Ouroboros. Hobbes must have uncovered the image when he was restoring the painting. But what did it mean? And what was its link to the Tabula Veritatis? A symbol was cut into the man's forehead. Simeon had claimed that it was the sign of the Tabula Veritatis. A large Ouroboros dominated the center of the painting. Before he was killed, Simeon had said that the tree inside the Ouroboros represented hidden Gnostic knowledge. And here it was, a whole new image inside the snake. Hobbes had uncovered it, but now he was dead. Inside the ring was what looked like an affluent town. It was the figure of a priest, but with a dog's head. The figure was pointing up at a ring above him. Within the ring, there were a number of houses. It was a village or a small town. Inside the ring was a castle gate. I had no idea what it signified. The figure of the young man was just like the one on the front of the fireplace. It couldn't be a coincidence. The youthful figure held a glowing blue orb in his hand. It was a castle of saints, Castel de Saints, in Catalonia. The plinths looked like they could be rotated. The bookcase held an assortment of ancient books. There was a crate of brandy amongst all the mess. The scroll under the shield read El Pont de Suert. The scroll below the shield read Tremp. Senor Marquez?
Mr. Stobart?
If we're going to find the tabula,
Yes?
then you will have to help.
Of course.
I mean, by being totally honest with us.
Tch, when have I not been honest?
When were you last here, senor?
Not since that day when my father was killed.
So why did the painting bring us here?
As I said, because only here in this room will its clues become clear.
Why is the Tabula Veritatis so important to the Gnostics?
It is an object of immense power. My ancestors kept it safe for hundreds of years. They brought it to Catalonia as exiles long ago. In any generation, only one Gnostic knows its exact location. My father, Xavier, was the last of these. He knew dark forces were gathering, but I was too young to learn the secret. So he commissioned La Malédiction, embedding clues to the location of the tabula within the painting.
Tell me about the painting.
When I was a child, I would stand here for hours just staring at it. Who was the mysterious painter, El Serp, the serpent? And what did it mean, La Malédiction, the curse? I asked my father, but he just told me to be patient. He said that one day I would know everything.
But what is the tabula? What does it do?
I do not know. I know only that in the wrong hands it would be catastrophic for mankind.
Senor, can you decipher any of the painting?
The Tower of Saints, of course. I knew it was a castell. And the saints themselves are Gnostic. You see the woman in red?
The one you marked in the photo?
She is Mary Magdalene. We revere her as Christ's greatest disciple. The rest, I don't know.
The symbol on the face, it is obviously the tabula.
But the elements around it, I don't know.
What happened back in Paris? We thought you were dead.
A man came to the apartment looking for Miss Collard. He mentioned a stolen painting owned by a Russian. Obviously, I informed him that I was the true owner.
Obviously.
Next thing I knew, this thug had me pinned to a chair and was threatening to shoot me. So I told him of the Castel, and while he telephoned his boss, I hit him with the little China dog.
Guess he didn't know you were the pugnacious type. So, Eva is your daughter?
She was a gift from God, late in my life. One day she will find room for Gnosticism in her heart, I am sure of it.
Why would a Dominican priest, Father Simeon, describe the Gnostics as evil?
That order was founded specifically to fight heresy and to eradicate Gnosticism. Behind their backs, the Dominicans were nicknamed the Dominicanes, or Hounds of God. For years, these dogs hunted down and butchered my people. They called us heretics, but in truth, they sought to find and seize the tabula.
I think this is yours.
My medallion? Where did you find it?
It was left in Nico's neighbor's apartment. Do you want it back?
No, you keep it for now. It has a meaning, a purpose. Perhaps you can find out what.
Sure. Just let me know if you ever want it back. Take a look at this sketch.
It is the face in La Malediccio.
It was drawn by the man who restored the painting.
Then he knew of the Tabula Veritatis. What other secrets did he uncover?
I don't know, but he's dead now.
Just as well. The fewer that know the secrets of La Malediccio, the better.
I found this.
It looks like one of my father's statues. He collected ancient carvings. We must find the answer.
The statue looked at home on the plinth. The painting held. The bearded figure was similar to the one on the fireplace in the hall. The orb in the old man's hand glowed with a green light.
What is that?
It's an old statue. I think it might help decode the painting.
I'll take a look. Maybe I can help. This door's locked anyway.
It looked like this part of the castell had taken some damage. The end of the passage was blocked off with rubble. There were spent bullet casings lying amongst the rubble. What exactly happened here? There were spent... The door was locked. Senor Marquez? Do you think the Tabula Veritatis was hidden here?
Perhaps. Who knows?
Anything else about the painting I should know?
I keep telling you, I don't know.
So, you're the good guys?
Good and evil are meaningless terms. We strive simply to maintain balance and keep the tabula from those who seek to exploit it for their own ends.
Nico and I are risking our lives for you. You really can't tell us any more?
Truly, I do not know.
Eva isn't a Gnostic?
As a child, she was shown the truth that is Gnosticism, but she has not chosen its path.
Father Simeon, the Dominican priest, was carrying these papers when he was killed.
So?
You're not interested in him?
I have no interest in priests or their papers, senor. We must find the answer.
I wondered if the notes could help decrypt La Malediccio. I'd put some statues above the fireplace, but it was hard to tell if they were the same ones as in...
Ah, what is this? A staircase. I never knew. We must go up. We don't have much time. Stairs. Always stairs.
Oh my. God, look at this.
George? George! What's this? A piece of burnt paper with the word Wolfram. That sounds familiar.
Wolfram. I curse that name forever.
What do you know about Wolfram, senor?
Wolfram. I spit on the name.
What is Wolfram?
It was a mining company, run by a murdering swine called Ganon. In the Civil War, they backed the fascists. In return, Ganon was given soldiers to do his dirty work. They came here, brought their bloody war to this house, and killed Senor Xavier.
This Kenan, who was he?
He was Swiss, a businessman, and a murdering swine.
So what did he want here?
I don't know. When he wasn't torturing the locals, he disappeared to the library. Spent weeks in there, making notes and studying maps. His men, they crossed the whole of Catalonia searching for something.
Did they find it?
Who knows? One day, Ganon just disappeared. He never came back. An accident, perhaps, in the mountains. May his soul rot in hell. The soldiers didn't stay long to search for him. They hated him too.
They shot Xavier? Senor Marquez's father?
I was just a boy, but I remember like it was yesterday. Shot him and his friend Hernandez, like animals.
Why did they come here?
They were searching for something, but they brought death with them. But there is one thing I have never understood. Xavier tried to escape through the library. But the library windows are barred. It is a dead end.
So you have lived here for a long time?
All my life. My father served here before me. In fact, he named me after Senor Xavier's favorite saint, Saint Ramon, patron saint of the falsely accused.
That's nice.
Not really. The Moors put a padlock through his mouth.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess there's a lesson there for all of us. The name Genan was familiar. He was the person who had tried to buy La Maledicción. A coincidence? Perhaps.
There is no such thing as coincidence.
So, when the soldiers left, you took back the house?
Yes. A few years later I returned and cleaned the place up. It broke my heart. I locked the library. I could not bear to touch Ganon's papers.
Can I have a look at the library?
No. I have kept it locked to honor the memory of Senor Xavier.
Please, this is important.
I lost the key.
You lost it?
That evening when I locked it up, I drank to the memory of Senor Xavier. The cellars were well stocked, Senora. It was a long night. I hid the key, then forgot where I hid it, so it is lost. That was all that was left in the morning. I haven't touched a drop since.
I needed to find out what Ganon had been working on in that library. The fireplace was adorned with carved trees. The bookcase held old Catalan books. I wouldn't be able to read them. There was a crate of brandy amongst the mess in the great hall. Apparently Ramon drank them all. Must have been some night. The hall had collections of old items everywhere. Ramon claimed he had tidied the place up. The internal courtyard had been beautiful once. Even overgrown like this, it had a serenity. The plants at least were thriving in the rubble. The plants at least. It was the library. The fountain had dried up long. The floor of the car was littered with keys from sardine cans. Another brandy bottle? Ramon really went for it that evening. Someone had been sleeping in the car, but long, long ago. I picked up what looked like an old diary. It was Ramon's. The library will forever be a shrine. No one will enter. I shall hide the key in a safe place. Once I've eaten, I have just what I need and know what to do. Oh, beautiful lady, your eyes are so blue. I just can't stop thinking of you. Ramon was quite the budding poet. Our lives are entwined like ivy on a tree. That is what you mean to me. Nice. Hey, I was reading that. An old pair of shoes. A 5T71. Extraordinary. The dashboard seemed intact, but this old family car would never drive again. The inside of the car was in a bad state. Have you no respect for great art? Pretty indigestible, huh? Hello, little one. No, that wouldn't. The goat had been a heap of old brandy bottles. Ramon must have been in the car on that night all those years ago. A pile of old apples. Looked like the goat had been eating lots of them. Someone had been sleeping. An old and very dubious pillow. An old apple tree. Shame that the goat's rope wasn't long enough for him to enjoy it. Eva, I am glad your father is safe.
He's old and foolish. He shouldn't be here, but he wouldn't listen to me. I suppose he's still going on about that painting.
Well, yes. In fact, we decoded it.
You did?
Yes, we found a secret passage behind the fireplace.
What?
Your father and Georges went in.
What? That's ridiculous. He's an old man.
Don't worry, Georges knows what he's doing. So he always tells me anyway. Have you ever been inside the library?
No, I'm told it is locked.
The key is lost. Ramon says he hid it years ago and cannot remember where.
Shame.
Seen anything suspicious?
Apart from you and your American boyfriend, no.
He's not my boyfriend, you know.
Whatever.
Your father is looking very frail.
He's old, and he could do without people giving him the runaround chasing lost treasure.
Can you think of anywhere Ramon might have hidden the key?
What do you think I am, psychic?
Talk to you later. According to the sundial, it was mid-afternoonish. So, you have no idea what you did with the key?
All I remember is waking up in the old car.
I just had a look at that old car in the garden. Looks like someone slept in it.
Me. When I returned, I couldn't bear the house at night. So, I slept in the car.
The wind chime looked like it was made from old cans. I wondered if it was Ramon's handiwork. One old sardine can was bulging slightly. I fished around. There was something in it. And there it was, the key to the library. An intricate mosaic adorned the floor. Ramon had been true to his word. This place was like a shrine. Books were still stacked neatly in the bookcase. More were scattered on the floor. A globe sat forgotten in a corner. I wondered if Marquez had played with it as a child. The trunk contained someone's personal possessions, at a guess, Genan's. I wondered what secrets they might hold. A pair of well-worn boots. The hat looked battered and old. I wondered if it had belonged to the mysterious Genan. A couple of old faded shirts, neatly folded. The map had interesting markings and scribbles all over it. Georges would be so jealous.
So, what is this place, Senor?
It is my family's chapel.
It's not like any chapel I ever saw. Where's the altar, the crucifix, the Christian symbols? And this fresco, what's that?
How extraordinary. It tells a story. It depicts the journey of my ancestors, the Cathars, and their escape from the hilltop fortress of Montsegur with the Tabula Veritatis, from under the very noses of the soldiers of the Albigensian Crusade.
Whoa, wait a minute. Who are the Cathars? And what have they got to do with the tabula?
The Cathars were Gnostics. They lived in the south of France in the 12th century, at peace with the Jews and the Catholics of the Languedoc. They preached that men and women are equal, that God is within you, and that the Church is an obstacle to salvation. The Pope found their core beliefs abhorrent. The Cathars accused him and his Church of corruption. He condemned them as heretics. When the Pope learned that they were the guardians of the Tabula Veritatis, he conspired with the King of France and called for a holy war to wipe them out. The Albigensian Crusade was a callous, ruthless massacre. The final confrontation took place here at Montsegur in 1244. The Crusaders believed that they had slaughtered all the heretics, but a handful managed to escape with the tabula. They traveled south across the Pyrenees along secret trails. They brought the tabula here to Catalonia to be hidden once more. Sadly, it was not the end of their trials. The Spanish Inquisition saw to that. Nevertheless, for generations, my ancestors continued to guard the secret of the tabula. So, you understand why La Maledizione is important to me. It will lead us to the tabula again, so we can keep it safe from those who wish to abuse its power.
The painting brought us up here, Senor. We need to find out why. It was a large marble statue of a young man holding some sort of colored glass lens. These statues...
What of them?
They're just like the figures in the painting, and on the fireplace.
Indeed, they are the two pillars of the Gnostic faith in harmony. And the bearded one is Yahweh, Jehovah, God of the physical world. The other is known by many names. Helel, Ishtar. He is the bearer of light, Luxfere. Lucifer.
Lucifer? So you guys are devil worshippers?
No. When he is in balance with Jehovah, Lucifer is the god of desire and ambition, driving humans to be inquisitive, to discover, to advance. Just as Jehovah, when he is in balance with Lucifer, is the god of order. Jehovah stands for selflessness and altruism. Gnostics worship the harmony of both gods in balance.
But what if one were to rule without the other?
If Jehovah ruled without Lucifer, then individuality would be surrendered. Mankind would be wholly conformist, mindlessly dependent, mere pawns of a controlling power.
And what if Lucifer ruled without Jehovah?
Ambition and desire would be transformed into unbridled greed, and man would lust only for wealth and power. Society would descend into chaos, disorder and war would prevail. Then Lucifer would be the devil indeed.
It was a glass wheel divided into 6 colors, and it looked like it could be rotated. Part of the lens was covered. The color changed from yellow to green. The color changed from green to turquoise. Marquez had told me that this statue was of Jehovah. It was a glass wheel, just like the one held by the other statue. Part of the lens was covered. The color changed from yellow to green. I removed the small leather cover to reveal a crude crystal lens. Colored light streamed through and shone onto the fresco. The fresco deserved a proper examination. The fresco was surrounded by dusty inscriptions. My Latin was a little rusty, but I could still translate. Ex igne puritas, from fire, purity. Ex luce veritas, from light, truth. Ex labore sapientia, from struggle, knowledge. A town of northern Catalonia. Cathars, fleeing across the Pyrenees to escape the slaughter of the Albigensian Crusade. They seemed to be carrying something. Cathars, fleeing across... They seemed to be... A town of northern Catalonia. A town of northern Catalonia. A town of northern Catalonia. A town of north... A town of northern... A town of north... A town of... Cathars being burned at the stake. Knights of the Albigensian Crusade. Knights of the Albigensian Crusade. The mountain fortress of Montsegur burning after its capture by the Crusaders. Senor Marquez?
Yes?
What's the deal with these lenses that the statues are carrying?
Clearly, they change the color of light that is reflected onto the fresco.
But why? And why the different colors? Does all that colored light falling on the fresco mean anything?
I don't know, senor. That is why I need you to help me.
Why was this room so well hidden?
After Monsegur, my ancestors were very careful about announcing their presence. Even I, as a boy, knew nothing of this place.
This fresco means something. I know it.
It is not just a historical record. There is a mystery locked in here. All those figures crossing the Pyrenees, one of them has to be carrying the real Tabula Veritatis. But which one?
So, Jehovah, he's God, isn't he?
He is the central figure in Abrahamic religions, but he represents just one aspect of our Gnostic beliefs, the physical world.
So this statue is Satan.
Not Satan, Lucifer.
Okay, so not evil?
The Church demonized Lucifer to suit their own ends. He represents the spiritual and intellectual elements of the world. Good and evil are simply products of the human condition.
You talk about balance. What does that mean?
Harmony comes from the balance of Jehovah, who offers order, and Lucifer, who brings ambition. Only under their dual influence will man become enlightened. See the light.
So you say the Cathars are Gnostics?
The Cathars were a medieval religious movement based on Gnosticism. Nowadays, we simply call ourselves Gnostics.
So the tabula is the key to the power of God?
Yes, it is an object of tremendous power.
Wow, this Albigensian crusade sure must have been a bloody affair.
Few were spared. But it was only one episode in 2 millennia of persecution.
It was a candelabrum holding a single candle. Just what this place needed. Bit of mood lighting. If only I had a few scatter cushions. The color changed from turquoise to blue.
Amazing. The light is showing the path of the Bonzong.
The what?
The sacred trail my ancestors took across the Pyrenees, carrying the Tabula Veritatis, from Montségur across the mountains to this town.
And which town is that?
I don't know. That I cannot answer. But its coat of arms is quite distinctive.
But how does it bring us closer to the tabula?
It tells us the route the tabula took 800 years ago.
I think that's all we're going to find up here.
You're right. We should return to the hall. Eva will be getting worried.
Okay, we found the route of the Bonzom Trail. How does it help us?
It must somehow relate to the painting.
Papa, are you crazy? What are you doing?
I'm fine, don't fuss.
You got me out here to look after you, so let me do it. Ramon is outside keeping watch.
Georges, I'm glad you're safe. What did you find?
There's a secret chapel above the fireplace. But it's not your average everyday chapel. It's a Gnostic chapel. All laid out for worshipping not one god, but two.
What?
I'll tell you when we have more time.
You know, I found some things too, which might connect with all that. Come to the library. Oh, could you bring the painting? I think we're going to need it.
What are you doing with La Maledizio?
Nico found something and asked me to bring the painting. I promised to take care of it.
Eva, go with him. Make sure the painting comes to no harm.
I should stay with you, Papa.
Don't worry about me. La Maledizio is more important.
Have you brought the painting?
Sure, why do you want it?
Because I found out what Genon was up to.
The Gainan who tried to buy the painting from Medovsky?
No, Genon who led the fascists here during the Civil War. Genon who then spent months here searching for something. And who vanished one day, leaving that trunk full of goodies over there.
You think he's connected to the Gainan who wrote the letter to Medovsky?
It seems likely that they were related.
Maybe. So what's the plan you've uncovered?
Take a look at this. It's Ganon's map. He was searching for something.
Searching for what exactly?
The Tabula Veritatis, I guess.
You think he found it?
I doubt it. If he had, then people wouldn't still be chasing after the painting.
So why did you want me to bring it?
See this scribble in the sea?
It's the same shape as the circles around the Ouroboros.
Yes. Genon thought that pattern in the painting had something to do with a map of Catalonia.
So, I guess we try to finish what Gainan started. I'd put money on those circles around the Ouroboros being places in Catalonia.
But which places?
Maybe the painting can give us some more clues. A large Ouroboros dominated the center of the painting. There was a tower within the ring. Inside the ring was what looked like an affluent town. If the fresco was to be believed, the town in that ring was at the southern end of the trail of the Bonzom. But which one? The map had to be the key. The municipality of Falset, the municipality of Flix, the municipality of Albesa, the municipality of Mora Debra, the city of Leyda. The mountain range of Montserrat. The mountain range of Montserrat. The location didn't sound familiar. I needed to get up to speed on Gainan's research. The municipality of Mauresa. I couldn't be sure that it was the right place. This was one of the locations highlighted on the fresco.
And this was the starting point of the journey of the Bonan, the good man, the Catars, right?
The municipality of Pocerda. The location didn't sound familiar. I needed to get up to speed on Gainan's research. The municipality of Baga. The municipality of Pocerda. Gainan. Perhaps there were some clues left in his... The municipality of Solsona. That was a total guess. Maybe the painting or... The municipality of Figueres. The location didn't sound familiar. The municipality of Olat. The municipality of Vic. I couldn't be sure that it was the right place. Hobbs had sketched the face he'd discovered in La Malediccio. It was obviously important. The castle gate signified the mountain fortress of Montsegur. If the fresco was to be believed, the town in that ring was at the southern end of the Trail of the Bonzon. But which one? The municipality of La Seu d'Urgell. The location didn't sound familiar. I needed to get up to speed on Gainon's research. The village of San Ramon.
Saint Ramon. Ramon told me he was named after a Saint Ramon.
There's also a saint on the painting.
Let me guess, he has a hefty padlock through his lips?
2 locations down. If the vignettes on the painting were anything to go by, I needed to find 2 more. The municipality of Figueres. Gainon had been researching the possible locations of the tabula. Perhaps there were some clues left in his possessions. The city of Girona. I couldn't be sure that... The municipality of Vic. That was a total guess. The building in the ring depicted the town of Saint Ramon. The municipality of Berga. The location didn't sound familiar. I needed to get up to speed on Gainon's research. The municipality of Vic. That was a total guess. If the fresco was to be believed, the town in that ring was at the southern end of the Trail of the Bonzon. But which one? I wasn't sure that I had all the information I needed to pinpoint the important locations. I lifted the hat out of the chest. There was something tucked beneath the shirt. I picked up the folded note. It was a telegram. I deciphered the telegram. The Tabula Veritatis was smuggled out of Montsegur to Catalonia by a group of Cathar survivors. I have confirmed this from confessions extracted by the Dominican Inquisitor Emmerich of Girona. It was signed Wolfram. There was nothing underneath the other shirt. I removed the oilcloth from the chest. I picked up the blanket. There was nothing underneath it. I had no desire to take the old... The map had to be the key. The municipality... The location didn't sound familiar. The Dominican monk Emmerich was from Girona, the dog-headed priest on the painting. I'd found 3 locations. Now I had to track down the last one. The municipality... I decided to put... I wasn't sure that I had all... The buildings in the ring represented Girona. If the fresco was to be believed, but which one? The suit of armor appeared to be standing guard. Time to take another look at the map. It was an empty frame. The painting had almost certainly been looted by Gainan's men. It was a dusty old globe. A moth-eaten tapestry hung on the wall. The scroll below the shield read Lorette de Mar. The coat of arms was exactly the same as the one depicted on the fresco. It read Berga. Time to take another look at the map. 4 clues, 4 locations. I just needed to pinpoint the location. So, the coat of arms on the fresco pointed us towards Berga.
Then it must be important.
I could see a pattern emerging. The locations had formed an odd cross shape, similar to the layout of the orbs depicted on the painting. This is the center point of the cross, so the tabula must be here. Montserrat. It has to be Montserrat. The question is, what's Montserrat?
It's a monastery in the mountains, quite a tourist spot. But there's something else. I think it used to be a Gnostic refuge, hundreds of years ago.
Bravo, my friends.
Dovsky?
No, Langham.
No, it's Genan, isn't it?
Very good, Miss Collard.
So, what happened to the real Langham?
He went for a long swim in the Seine. Now, I was expecting to have to rip this place apart and retrace my grandfather's steps, but I do believe you have saved me quite a lot of work. The tabula is at Montserrat. Who would have thought it? The old man will be coming with me.
No, please, take me instead. He doesn't know anything.
And you do? I think not.
But he is old.
Eva, hold your peace, child.
You can't do this.
Oh, but I can. I will. Man is weak, servile, controlled. He must be freed, freed from all constraints, free to fulfill his desires.
And you plan to raise the devil to achieve that?
Not the devil. No, Lucifer. Now, if you don't mind, we have a long journey ahead of us. Come on. They can rot in there.
We have to get out of here now. I assume that lunatic is as dangerous as he looks.
I'm afraid so, Eva. I think he's killed before.
You know, Nico, we were chasing Medovsky, but all along, we were really up against Ganon's grandson. Look, daylight.
That doesn't make any sense.
It's a false door, Nico.
So that's why Marquez's father tried to escape through here. He didn't have time to open the false door.
Aha!
Great work, George. Come on, Eva, let's go.
We need to rescue your father and stop Langham before he gets the tabula. Eva, I think you better stay here.
Are you kidding? You'll need me, especially if there's a fight.
Eva, it'll be very dangerous.
Signora, you do not understand. It is my duty.
Okay. We'd better check up on Ramon first.
Sure. Then we will go and kick some ass.
Couldn't have put it better myself. Montserrat was way up in the mountains, a major tourist destination. But we went there as tourists. We had an old man to rescue and an ancient tablet to find. And standing in our way was a cold-blooded killer. Why would the tabula be hidden up here of all places?
For hundreds of years, the mountain has been kind of a sanctuary. There's an old Benedictine monastery up the hill.
Well, I guess that's where we need to start looking.
Wow, it's empty. Where is everyone?
This place is normally full of tourists.
I don't like the look of this one bit.
At least it's not monks with guns.
Don't even go there, Nico. Time to bring out the dumb tourist.
It's a role you were born to play, George.
Nice lamppost. Looking at that fence, I'd guess they had dog issues around here.
Howdy. Is this the way up to the monastery?
Yeah, but it's shut. No one allowed in. The monks, they're on strike.
Wow. What happened? Someone make 'em work ungodly hours?
Nah, I don't think that was the problem.
We're moving away from the monastery.
Yes, but with those goons in the way, we have to find a different approach.
Maybe there's some other way around, via the cable car station?
Someone's coming out. Quick, we need to hide. I think it's Langham.
Block everything off. Lock the whole place down, understand? The tabula's got to be up in the monastery. I'm sure of it. Come on.
Yes, boss.
Close all the routes up to the monastery, and then make the old man talk.
Yes, boss.
This time, don't be so gentle with him.
Did you hear that? They haven't found it yet, but Senor Marquez must be in a bad way.
Listen, I have to follow those bastardos. I might be able to slip through on my own.
Sure. We'll see if we can find another way up. You think she'll be okay?
Eva can handle herself.
The building looked very new. It must have been modernized recently. Glass canopies sparkled in the sun. Would have been a pain to clean those. It was locked. There was a keypad, but I didn't know the code. My God! Nico!
What is it?
This telescope! It's free! There were a couple of people stuck in the cable car. They looked kind of familiar. Then I realized it was my old friends Dwayne and Pearl Henderson. The Hendersons had an uncanny way of showing up wherever I went. They didn't know I'd seen them. I needed to give them a signal. I signaled them back. I wasn't sure they'd seen it. Pearl was mouthing something and gesturing. Pearl seemed to be writing something on the window. It said, "Help, stuck. Door code 0797. I wondered how Pearl came to know that. I idly wondered whether there was more to find by looking at the scenery. There was a small chapel perched on the edge of the cliff. It looked ancient. It was the other station for the cable cars. Pearl had given me the code. It was the other station for the cable cars. There was a small chapel perched. Wait, what's that? That rock looks familiar. Nico, take a look at this and tell me what you see.
You're right. That rock looks like a head.
I've seen that shape before. Take a look at this. The face in the Ouroboros, it's exactly the same shape as that rock.
That can't be a coincidence.
And you know what? Langham's got the forged picture, the one without the face.
So the rock won't have meant anything to him.
Nico, I don't think the tabula's up at the monastery. I think it's down there somewhere, around that rock. Come on, Nico. Pearl's giving me the code to the door.
What? Pearl? Who? How?
Trust me, Nico. I've got friends in low-hanging places. Huh. There's no one here.
Looks like everything has been shut down.
Help!
The cable cars were scheduled to run all day. A metal lunchbox. Someone sure wanted to keep their cheese safe.
Hey, is anybody there?
Whoa! Did you hear that?
We're stuck in here. Help!
How about that, Nico? A talking lunchbox. Huh, what will they think of next? I better take it with me. A talking lunchbox. Locked. With no key, I was going to have to find a way to break into it. The lock was too well made to be picked. That was the wheels were part of the cable car mechanism. There was no lock, but the door wouldn't open.
Go away!
Hello?
George? There's someone in there.
Are you all right in there?
Just go away!
The huge cogs were part of the cable car mechanism. They looked very powerful. The box was now wedged in the cogs, or rather, the giant can opener. The control panel looked complicated. It wasn't powered up, and the smell of burnt electrical components hung ominously in the air.
That's quite a mess you've made there, George.
You know what they say about making omelets, Nico?
You can't make them without strawberry jam?
Just as I thought, it's a two-way radio.
Can anyone hear me?
Dwayne, this is George. George Stobart.
Holy cow, George! Just the fella I need. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Dwayne. And don't you worry, I'll have you out of there in a minute.
You reckon you can get the cable car running again?
No, the console isn't working properly. I've got no idea why not.
George, this is Pearl. Get Kat to help you. She knows everything about that place.
Kat? Is she the girl in the closet?
Has she locked herself in? Oh, dear. Let me talk to her, darling.
The box was mangled beyond repair.
Cat? Wait, please. We mean you no harm. Please, come out.
I'm staying right here until I know it's safe.
Cat?
I found you a friendly voice.
How do you know my name?
Cat, dear, it's me, Pearl.
Pearl? How did you get here? That's not possible.
Listen, darling, it really is me, but I'm talking on the radio. George here is a very decent guy, and you should open the door.
I'm not going to fall for that. Prove it's you.
All right. Remember we discovered we both love musicals?
Yeah? And my favorite one is?
How does it go now? Help me out. I am the very model of a modern major general.
Of information, vegetable, animal, and mineral.
I know the kings of England and I quote the fights historical.
From Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I'm very good in integral and differential calculus.
I know the scientific names of beings and of malculus.
In short, in matters, vegetable, animal, and mineral.
I am the very model of a modern major general.
All right, only Pearl would know that, and I trust her. Who are you?
I'm George, and this is Nico. How did you end up in a closet?
There were some guys with guns. They took over the whole station. I hid in here.
We're trying to avoid them too.
I was quite surprised, you know. They never mentioned guns at the job interview.
Really? We need to use the cable car. Can you operate it?
Yeah, if the console was working, but they sabotaged it.
And there's no way to get it started?
There might be. Let me see. See that burned out fuse down there?
In the back by the prongs?
Yeah. The idiots stuck a spanner in there and blew the fuse. They wanted to make sure no one could use the cable cars. Connect those two prongs somehow, and the console should restart.
How on earth are we going to reach that?
I don't know. But don't stick your arm in there. You'll get fried.
Wire would be a good way to shortcut the prongs. I needed a closer look. The paperclip would do the trick connecting the two prongs. But I didn't want to just throw it in there. I might miss. I needed to avoid touching anything that could give me a shock. I needed to avoid touching anything that could give me a shock. The thought of Trevor armed with a paperclip intrigued me, but I had no way to attach it to him. Never. That. It. Not a snowball's chance. The control panel looked complicated. It wasn't powered up. Well, I'd done stranger things in my life. The paperclip was now all sticky. I stuck the paperclip to Trevor's back. I bet he could work in an office now. Trevor could help, but I couldn't just throw him in there. I set him down at the edge where it was safe. Go, Trevor, go! Poor Trevor looked like he needed therapy, but the console was working. The console, it's working.
Cool. I can send you down there if you want. Let me just bring the cable car up here.
Pearl and Dwayne are going to be mighty relieved.
Oh, they must have been going down in the other cable car.
Come on, Nico. There's no time to lose. As we got closer to the face in the rock, I knew for sure that we were on the right track. It was definitely the same as the face in the painting, but with one difference. The symbol of the tabula was missing from the rock formation. Well, here we are.
But no way to reach the face. Let's have a look around. There must be a way up. George, the chapel looks like it's been built right into the rock.
You're right. We should take a look inside.
I wonder, how old do you think the chapel is?
I'm guessing the exterior's a couple of 100 years old, but the inside? Who knows? Some parts could be much older.
You think somehow this chapel might be connected to the face in the rock?
At a guess, I would say so. Hey, look! It's Pearl and Dwayne.
Come on, honey bun. Things ain't that bad.
You just don't understand. Today's been a disaster.
But
The monastery was closed. We got stuck in the cable car. And now this place is a building site.
aw, sweetie pie.
This was supposed to be the spiritual highlight of our trip, Dwayne. But the only spirit I see is that rotten turpentine over there.
Aw, heck.
Clearly, the Hendersons weren't having a great vacation. Wood shavings. This was one building site that needed Mr. Tidy. They smelt exotic. It was an old crank handle. A modern plaster altar had been built against the rock. An empty, coffee-stained mug had been left by the altar. A statue of the Madonna and Child watched over the chapel. An old candelabra hung from the ceiling. The crank handle was connected to the candelabra. The scaffolding was a little loose. Everything rattled. It made a surprisingly dulcet noise. It produced a dull sound when I rapped my knuckle against it. It produced a dull sound. It produced a dull sound. The view over the valley was spectacular. Great to see you again, Mr. Henderson.
Great to see you too, George. Great work back there with the cable car.
Is Pearl okay?
I wish. I'm afraid we're having one of those days where everything goes wrong.
Tell me about it. Is there anything we can do for Pearl?
I sure as hell hope so, George. She's been planning and researching this trip for years, our little pilgrimage. And Santa Cova Chapel here was the cherry on the cake. Not a thing she don't know about this place. Madonna, blah, blah, blah. Chapel built in, yada, yada, yada. She's Santa Cova's very own walking encyclopedia. Well, weeping encyclopedia, I should say.
What have you been up to since we last met in Quaramonte?
Well, there was that little sideshow in Rome, but we can't talk about that. You know why, George.
I do? I do.
Why?
Top secret.
Need to know, Nico. Dwayne is, snoozer.
Don't you mean a sleeper?
No way, honey. A snoozer's at least 2 pay grades up from a sleeper. So I hear. Anyway, I don't believe I've had the pleasure, Miss,
Nicole Collar. Call me Nico.
Well, how's about that? So this is the beautiful Nico. No wonder you've been hiding her away from me, Georgie boy.
Gosh, no,
It's lovely to finally meet you too, Mr. Henderson. George has told me so much about you.
Oh, call me Dwayne, my dear. And let me assure you of one thing. Everything you've heard is quite possibly true.
Dwayne was loud, large, and short-sighted, but boy was he a charmer. So what brings you to Santa Cova?
Pearl's idea from the get-go. Ever since the unfortunate car accident back home, she's been scouring those pilgrimage brochures. Gotta be full of wonder and life-changing imagery. Got to have penance potential. Got to offer a real spiritual experience.
Well, I'm sure this place will be very spiritual once it's finished.
If the chapel is not what she expected, how about the monastery?
Hot dog, no. That place is for tourists, not pilgrims.
You said she expected a spiritual experience?
Well, that's what the brochure promised. Pilgrimages, little monk fellas, singing, shafts of light, the whole shebang.
Smells, bells, and heavenly lights.
Yeah, that's what the lady wanted. Oh, excuse me. Pearl needs me. There, dear.
Pearl could be a mine of information about the chapel, if we could just cheer her up. Pearl.
Shh, she doesn't want to be disturbed.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
Did you see the Black Madonna?
Oh, you betcha. She's the little lady we came to see. though Pearl's in too much of a state to even look at her.
Hey, that tune you were whistling earlier, it sounded familiar.
Oh, it's Schubert's Ave Maria. In our courting days, me and Pearl used to hang out with the Campanology Society. It was Pearl's favorite.
What can you tell me about Santa Cova?
Well, Pearl's the expert, not me. She knows everything there is to know about this chapel. Oh, excuse me. There, dear.
It wasn't exactly a note, but using the hammer was a great idea. A fire extinguisher with all these lighted candles seemed like a sensible precaution. That sounded like an A.
What are you up to?
Look, I made a Churchenspiel. A. A. That didn't sound right. B, if I wasn't mistaken. Wrong. G. A. G. B. A. G. G. A. B. Not a pleasant sound. Well, that was fun. I poured the turpentine into the paint can. The hammer produced a promising sound. An F sharp. G. F sharp. G. B. A. G. I had it. It was the tune Dwayne was humming.
George, that's Ave Maria. Let me have a go.
Wow, you really nailed that, Nico.
Yep, this mop really is pretty special. Leave this to me.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
What were you whistling again?
Oh, it's Schubert.
How's Pearl doing?
She's still pretty upset. Wait, is that Ave Maria? Pearl's favorite.
How you holding up?
Me? Oh, Pearl on the other.
What can you
Well, she knows. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Pearl needs me. There, dear.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George. Oh, excuse. There.
Pearl.
Shh. She doesn't want to be disturbed.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George. Oh, excuse me. There.
Nico? So, what did you mean by smells, bells, and heavenly lights?
I'm talking about the authentic church experience.
Oh, I see. Smells, bells, and heavenly lights. How come your Ave Maria sounds so much better than mine?
Catholic upbringing.
Got any ideas for smells?
Have you found any incense? Church smells don't get much more authentic than incense.
Poor Pearl.
She's in quite a state. If we're going to find the tabula, her knowledge is key.
So, all our hopes are pinned on an American tourist.
I pin my hopes on an American tourist all the time.
I found a statue over there. A black Madonna.
Great! What did you find out about it?
That's all I got.
Well, it's not a lot to go on.
I lit the candles on the candelabra. That wouldn't work. My mother always said cleanliness is next to godliness. That was never going to work. I put the shavings in the mug. I lit the shavings. They smelled not completely unlike sandalwood. The shavings were slowly burning inside the mug.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
What were you whistling?
Oh, it's... Oh, there.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
What were you whistling?
Oh, it's shoot. She's still pretty upset. Oh, excuse me. There, dear.
It was tempting to get rid of all the bread, but you never know when you might need a potion to ward off unwelcome advances. There were some ashes at the bottom. For a I put the shavings in the mug. I covered the shavings with Brett. Potpourri. Kind of. I lit the scented shavings. A sweet aroma started to fill the room. Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
What were you whistling?
Oh, it's shoot.
What can you tell me about...
Well, she knows every...
How...
She seems... Ave Maria. Maybe this place isn't so bad after all.
How you holding up?
Me? Pearl, on the other hand. Oh, excuse me. There.
Pearl.
Shh. She doesn't...
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
What?
Oh, it's... Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Pearl needs me. There, dear.
There was a recess in the wall with a Latin word. Puritas. Purity. I'd seen... I rested the side mirror precariously on the candelabra. I secured the mirror in place with some yarn. Now that was something. The light from the candelabra spilled over the Black Madonna like waves of spiritual goodness in candle form.
Pumpkin? Oh my!
What?
The sound of angels, the lights of heaven, the smell of piety, and
Yes?
the Madonna, I do believe. Tears. She's crying, Dwayne! The Madonna's crying. Father, son, little Timmy. Wrong side of the road. Not my fault. The broken leg. Compensation claim. Forgive me, poor Timmy.
Oh, Pearl, my precious, you're such a sensitive soul.
Well, now that's done. I feel my soul's floating on air. We can get on with our pilgrimage, Dwayne.
Just another 1,000 clicks to go.
Pearl was back to her usual cheery self. Mrs. Henderson,
George, dear boy.
how you feeling?
Oh, just fine, thank you. I have just seen a miracle, George. It's all gonna be all right from now.
I'm sure it is, Mrs. Henderson. I'm sure it is. What can you tell me about Santa Cova?
Well, dear, they call it the Chapel of the Holy Grotto. It was built directly into the mountain itself in 1696. It survived the Napoleonic Wars, mudslides, Civil War. But the chapel is still standing today. It's a miracle.
Or a restoration.
What was that, dear?
Yes, a miracle. What can you tell me about the statue?
I read that the Black Madonna has been here since the 9th century. She's called the Virgin of Montserrat. Some say the original was moved to the cathedral. But Dwayne and I know that's just a bluff, don't we, honey?
We sure do. This one is the real McCoy.
Still, keeping busy, Dwayne?
Like the man said, George, that old kaleidoscope keeps getting shaken, and the pieces are ever in flux.
Guess it's your job to pick 'em up, huh?
Well, somebody has to do it, compadre.
I enjoyed talking to Dwayne, but I was rarely any the wiser afterwards. So, Pearl, what have you been up to since we last met?
Well, George, I've been on a journey.
Oh, really? Well, what kind of journey?
A spiritual one. A journey along the road to enlightenment.
Wow. And is that what brought you here?
It is. Though Santa Cova is but one step on that road.
What's so special about Santa Cova?
It's an ancient and very holy place. I've spent the last year researching it, and I can truly say there is nothing I do not know about it.
I don't suppose you'd know anything about that rock out there?
No, only that for 1,000 years, people have claimed to see a face in its shapes.
Pearl, does this mean anything to you?
Oh, nothing, dear. Apart from the obvious Gnostic connotations, of course.
What?
You know, the Dominicans. All those Gnostic saints. Doubting Thomas, Judas. And you see the woman in the red cloak? The infamous Mary Magdalene herself.
A lady in red.
That's enough now, Dwayne. You know my feelings about her.
Pearl knew her Gnostic onions, all right.
Then there's the Ouroboros, of course.
Something special about it?
Well, If I remember rightly, there was an Ouroboros right here in this chapel. Back in the 30s and 40s, the chapel was renovated. The workmen uncovered numerous symbols carved in the rock. Amongst them was a fine Ouroboros.
But that's amazing. So, where is it?
Oh, it's not there now.
Oh,
It was considered blasphemous, so they plastered over it. Sweetheart, I think it's time for us to go. The road to enlightenment waits for no woman.
'Tis the pilgrim's lot, George.
It was so nice to see you again. And meet your girlfriend.
We're not.
Take this radio, Nico. Never know when you might need it. Keep an eye on our boy George here.
Poor little lost lamb.
I'm not...
Don't worry, this little lamb's in safe hands. Bon voyage.
Bye-bye, dears.
See ya! Nico, don't even start.
Little lamb?
Let's focus on the task in hand, shall we? Okay, this Ouroboros that Pearl mentioned,
You're right. We need to find it.
that was... I couldn't see anything unusual about it. A modern plaster altar had been built against the rock. That was almost a great idea. Almost. It was a recess in the rock with Puritas carved above it. I hoped this was the right thing to do. Hey, Nico, I found the Ouroboros.
So what now?
Pearl was right. The plaster had covered an Ouroboros. I pushed the Ouroboros, but nothing happened. The medallion matched the Ouroboros in the wall. That was never... I pulled the Ouroboros, but it wouldn't budge. The wall, it looked like the chapel had been built. The candlelight was dancing on the Black Madonna. Now that was one heavenly sight. I pushed the Ouroboros. The Black Madonna was clearly the focal point of the chapel. It was a crank candle. It was a crank candle. What was that noise?
I knew it. Another secret passageway.
Amazing, Charles. How did you do it?
Just another case of the old Stobart magic, I guess, Nico. It looks a little dark in there.
Are you scared, Charles?
Of course not. Just worried about you tripping, that's all. Whoa, this is one dark cave.
It's the door that worries me, George.
Well, I'm sure the door will open again if we give it a minute. No need to panic. Now we panic. Help! I gotta say, Nico, you're pretty calm about this.
Traveling with you, George, I've got used to this kind of thing. If I panicked every time a door shut behind us, probably forever, well...
You're right. What was I thinking? You see if you can get the door open, and I'll go check out the dark, evil-smelling cave. Fumbling around in the dark wasn't going to be fun. But heck, I'd spent a lifetime doing it, so what was new? The wall felt like it had something carved into it. I didn't want to use my last match until I absolutely needed to. The stone door had sealed us in. No way would we have been able to prise it open. For a moment, I imagined falling forever in the dark. But it was just my imagination running wild. The floor was solid. I could feel something smooth and spherical with clumps of what felt like... I needed to save the match. It was a small stuffed animal of some kind. Short-haired. The match might have helped, but that would be pointless. It was a small, round object made of fabric with a musty smell. Using my last match, it was cold to the touch and felt like carved rock. It felt cold and smooth, like worn stone. The carved stone felt like the branches of a tree. It was just my mind playing tricks in the dark. The thing had branches like a tree. Tree or not, it was cold to the touch like it was made from stone. I didn't want to use my... face
arms. It was definitely... It was a flat surface like stone. It felt cold and smooth, with some indentations along the surface. The carved stone felt like the branches of a tree. It was stone with a recess in it and, an oily liquid in it. There was some kind of thin twine in the middle of it, too. Hey, Nico, I think I found some light. Whoa!
It must be Genan. Ramon said he disappeared while searching the mountains for the tabula.
So this is where he ended up, dead in a cave. Hole in the head dead. Decomposing for decades dead. And on closer inspection, I'd even say blown your own brains out dead.
Okay, George, I get the point. What is this place?
Who knows? But look at the Gnostic symbols.
You're right. The colors, the trees. But who is she?
It looks like the Virgin Mary, but I don't think it is.
What do you mean?
The red robes and that whole off-the-shoulder look? It must be Mary Magdalene, of course. Marquez told me that the Gnostics revered her. This place, it's some kind of Gnostic shrine.
There's got to be something to release that door. Maybe amongst these carvings.
But if it was that obvious, don't you think Genan would have found it? Getting up close and personal to Ganon's leathery corpse wasn't pleasant, but we had to figure out how to get out of there. Ganon had certainly been busy before he blew his brains out. I wonder what he'd been up to. Nico!
What?
Is this what I think it is? It must be the Tabula Veritatis.
So Genan did find it.
It's so small, so innocent looking. Why would Simeon call it evil? Why so many deaths for this?
And why go to such lengths to keep it hidden?
Unless it is as genuinely dangerous as Simeon claimed.
The question now is, what do we do with it?
The photograph was of an ancient clay tablet. Ganon had written on it. Someone, presumably Ganon, had taken the time to translate the inscription. At a glance, the inscription seemed to relate to the exploits of someone called the Sun King. The symbol on the tablets looked similar to the ones etched into the face of the Tabula Veritatis. She translates as Mountain Kingdom. Ganon had marked this symbol with the letter B. I prized the map out from under the arm of the corpse. It looked like Ganon had scrawled some kind of last testament onto this map. My friends, I know that you will eventually find me, but by then it will be too late. I have decoded the tabula, and I know our destiny lies in paradise. The key to the power of God is in our hands. I die secure in the knowledge that you will now be able to complete my work. Tell my family that I died doing my duty, that I surrender my life gladly to the cause. In the light of the day, these words will fade, like our souls. But rest assured that when they do, their echoes will guide us to where we will meet once again. I'm not sure, but it looks like crafty old Ganon left a secret message in his testament. had to be Ganon, in which case the body had been there for decades. There was a bullet hole in the side of his head. Just like us, he'd been trapped. He'd chosen suicide. I picked up the old gun. It was too corroded and rusty to ever be fired again. It was a fedora, just like the one in Ganon's trunk back at the Castell. The years hadn't been kind to it. Ex luce veritas. Out of light, truth. I'd seen the same words on the fresco at Castel des Saints. Oil in the bowl of the lamp fed a wick. It was an old water canteen. The contents had long since been drunk. It was an old flashlight. It looked like it died around the same time as Ganon. The pillar had been carved into the shape of a tree and painted green. I knew it represented the tree of life. The pillar had been sculpted into a tree and then painted blue. I knew it was supposed to be the tree of knowledge. There were ancient scratches on the plinth, as if someone had moved the statue. I'm sure that this is Mary Magdalene.
The red robes. It all makes sense. The Madonna would be wearing blue. So, who's the child?
Well, according to the Gnostic Gospels, when Mary kissed the lips of Jesus, she,
Oh, I see.
Yep,
So the Gnostics think that the suckling child is...
I guess so.